So I'd like to show you some of my Christmas decorations. So this is my living room. I've had this fake tree for a good number of years. It's getting quite tricky to put together sometimes. And I've decided I need many more lights. We don't really do Elf on the Shelf so much, mainly because I forget. And we don't do, I don't know, people disapprove of it because it's something about being naughty. I don't know. Anyway, sometimes we just have fun with the elf. I like to keep it simple, I suppose because I have a small house now. And I just stick some baubles and things. I have lots of electric candles just to add a splash of color here and there. I purchased this last year, I think from Ocado when it was on offer, so I don't know if it's like just something Ocado offers or whether it's a John Lewis thing because they used to sell Waitrose groceries. Now, this is just very real. This is not picture perfect magazine quality stuff. This is just my living room, and it has to be multifunctional. So my kids are now 14 and 9, and I look after toddlers. In fact, I look after kids of all ages, but at the moment I'm looking after a 2-year-old. Due to the lockdown, things are a little bit more quiet work-wise, and that's okay. It's allowing more time to relax and enjoy. Now we have lots of blankets. In fact, there are some more blankets that we keep in here usually because, I don't know, I'm just always chilly. I do have heating and everything, but I'm always chilly in here, I think because of the, oh, sorry, it's very bright. I have this, I'm going to turn this light off. See if you can see. Might not be able to make it out. So Sammy wanted to have a steampunk birthday, and I really needed more lighting in here. And as I was looking up steampunk stuff to get her, although we did have to postpone her party, I found this lamp and I just liked it. And it's a Kodak electric timer, and my grandfather and my uncle worked for Kodak in Rochester, New York for many years, and just it's a bit of nostalgia. So I use candles year round, but especially now. This gong was hanging at the farm where I used to live, family farm, and basically I borrowed it because the farmhouse now has tenants in it, so there's a lot of things that needed homes, even if they're temporary. So I'm looking after it, and I used to live in this little cottage that somebody drew. I don't even know who drew it. I lived there on the farm. And this is the house I lived in, more or less. Somebody did this tapestry, not me. And it kind of looks like the house. It might have been a previous incarnation maybe. Well, basically there's some barns missing where there's yellow fields there. It's quite picturesque. Sorry, this is shaking. It's quite picturesque, but actually there's some big black barns and stone barns and things. So I have my Kings and Queens of England mug here, which cracked, so now I have to use it for a pencil pot because I couldn't give it up. Here's one of my trees that I made a few years ago. I mean, I did make them last year. No, I meant a few videos ago. I made these. I have little nativity set. I got this in Tesco's ages ago. And Joseph has lost, he had a staff. I don't know why he had a staff, to be honest. You know, he looked more like a shepherd, but that's gone, long gone. This was a scented candle, and I've just had to put an electric thing in because candle's gone. And here are the three kings. They're making their way slowly to the nativity. I mean, it's not time for any of that yet. It's not time to have Jesus out, but we don't mind. This is old school belt, again from the farm. It belonged, I think, to my father's cousin's grandmother, great-grandmother. She was a school teacher. And this is actually a statue. There's a sculpture of Sammy. So a few years ago, we got involved with an artist, and she needed a model during a sort of demonstration of her work. She needed a model to sit there so people could watch her work. And Sammy sat there. I couldn't believe she sat still for that length of time, but she sat there doing her drawing and made this really nice sculpture. And then it has a glaze on it, which is sort of greeny, browny, goldy, I don't know. So that's lovely. And yeah. It seems really dark now. I mean, during the day, I have to say that this is not a dark room, and it's because I have the benefit of having this window and the window behind me, behind the tree. So here is my Tidings of Comfort and Joy cushion that I finished. This is a cushion cover that I made because when you make this particular log cabin, hold on, let's swing back to the log cabin quilt. When you make the log cabin quilt, the way that you make it, you end up with sort of extra squares. It's hard to explain, but you end up with each of the sort of incarnations of the squares. I'm going to do a separate video on this quilt and maybe a little bit about how to put it together in case you'd like to give it a go. So you have some extras left over, and I had another one as well, and I wonder if just as I was moving and things, I ended up donating it because it's not in my linen chest. But I did have a bigger cushion as well, a bigger cushion cover. So yes, anyway, that is just covering a cushion that I normally have here. I don't normally just put this quilt and these cushions out just for Christmas. They are Christmassy colors, but I usually used to have them on display all the time. Those were basically the colors of my living room a couple of houses ago. So it seems to work well for Christmas. This chair is also not normally here. It's normally where the tree is, and there's usually a grey chair here. But I had to move some furniture around to make room for the tree. So this is where the tortoise used to live, on top of this sideboard. And the tortoise is hibernating now. And when he or she, it's too young to tell right now, when he or she wakes up, I'm going to try a new location upstairs and see how that goes. So I'm filming this on Sunday, and my craft vlog normally goes out on Monday, and I may come back tomorrow after I've done a bit of things with the sewing machine, because I have something that I think I'd like to put in here. So it might look slightly different tomorrow. So here's another one of my magazine trees. This is a sampler. The date on it is 1830, and this also came from the farmhouse. And the glass is broken. I don't think you can tell that, but there's only about half of the glass there. I'm trying to be very careful with it, and I won't be leaving it here for very long. it is old and falling apart, and so I do need to put it into some kind of protective storage to keep it safe until we can manage to preserve it a bit better. This again is another one of my quilts that I made just to make it as a table runner. I think maybe I had it on a hall bench in one house. One of the reasons why I'm moving the tortoise cage is so that I can move some things downstairs to make them more convenient, like this trunk, which holds my embroidery things. And it doesn't always have to have baskets on top, but this is my basket of things for my crafters vlog for tomorrow. I think my finishes, some things I want to show. And this is my mother's morning basket, which I've done lots of videos about, and it has various books and art materials and novels and my Celtic Advent book and bits and pieces. So this wall is looking rather blank since there was a tortoise cage there and it had a tall cage on top of it. I didn't have anything on that wall. Normally people don't keep tortoises in a cage with an actual cage on it, but I did because I'm a childminder and I have little people who, even with the cage on, they put things into the cage. I often find dominoes and things in there. So these are our Christmas stockings. This is from Land's End. I got them last year when they were on offer. I think even now they are. And yeah, love those. I didn't have a design that I really liked myself. So I'm toying with getting one or toying with making one. But in the meantime, I have my one that I've been using for a number of years. Stockings is a big tradition in our house. It's my favorite part anyway. I'm not sure if the kids agree, but so I just have some more electric candles, and I have some real candles, some lit and some not. I hide the matches and things up there. That's what's up there. This is another thing I got from the farm when my aunt died, so that was really lovely. I always loved it. And this tray, I sometimes have it on my coffee table, and I was thinking about doing that for Christmas. It actually has flowers on it, but because it's red, I thought, well, was it Christmassy? I don't know. I'm not having any visitors as far as I know, so besides the children I look after, I'm not sure anybody's going to see it except for all of you. So I'm not too worried about my decorations this year. But I have some scented candles and electric candle. And then I have Sammy's stocking. I was trying to figure out if I could get them to put Samé, which is her name, with an accent on it, and I didn't know how to do that on the computer system, so. But she goes by Sammy or Samé. And she likes rabbits. She was born the year of the rabbit, so she's taken to rabbits lately since she learned that fact. And this is their little half-sister, Aisha, and I don't know if we're going to be able to see her this Christmas due to certain circumstances. So I got her one as well, and like to fill that for her for when she comes. I have a drum, and this is my prayer stool. Now, I have here this big blank spot. I wonder if everybody just wonders what this blank spot is. And it's because I have long had plans of a craft of a cross that I'm making and decorating. And well, the plan's there. Sometimes I wonder lately whether I should just buy one, and then when I make one, I don't know, rearrange things a bit. But anyway, I won't go into full detail here of this space, just to say that I've added a nativity icon, and this, which I got for Sammy, which is one of those little silver nativity sets. And otherwise, this has just been the same, except that I've given things a dust, which is a real treat for them, I'm sure. So that's the living room. It's not a big space, but it's ours. And this, I'm going to point out a few things. One is, I seem to have quite a dove collection. I collect doves and I collect angels, and I do try to add 1 or 2 ornaments each year, although it usually ends up being 5 or 6. This one I love. It's wood and then a sort of metal wings, and this is another one I love. I remember when I saw this, I thought, no, don't buy more things. And then I went back after Christmas and got it in the sale. I think it's like a Gisela Graham one. Maybe this too. This is a new one this year. And this is one I got. Sammy's obsessed with corgis. Ever since we went to Windsor Castle, and she bought a stuffed animal corgi to take home with her. She's obsessed with all dogs actually, but she'd really like a corgi or something very small. That's one of my angels. Smile would be better. Okay, good. This is also one of my favorites. I just adore it. And when I show you the upstairs tour, I have even more. Let's see, what else do I have? This I got this year too. Oh. Okay. So what I really wanted to show you was not that, but the tree skirt. Now the tree skirt is looking a bit small for this size tree. And I don't know if you remember, I said I had originally wanted to make a new tree skirt this year with linen and some embroidery around. And I wanted to get my linen from IKEA just because it's less expensive. And I think for a tree skirt, it could be that really nice, solid, thick linen that IKEA sells. And I didn't get there because of lockdown, among other things. So I got this, and I think it was £5 at Lidl. And I don't love it. I actually don't like the snowflakes so much, oddly enough. I don't know why, but I wasn't that keen on it. So what I might do is keep the form of it and keep the grey bit, and then over the snowflakes add an outer edge that goes out a bit further of, again, probably a linen based embroidery panel going around it. I don't think it would be appropriate for wool. I just think it will just gather lots of dust, as this has already. Just as I've been sweeping and hoovering, it sort of gets cat hair and little embroidery threads and bits and pieces. So yeah, but that's a next year project. Okay, let's move on to the next space. Hey, it's Monday, and in my house that means I get to clear the decks and take out my sewing machine. But I have a late start today because it took me a while to tidy up before I started. But I'm just going to have a look at what kinds of things I'm doing today, just to see what I have on the list. I am so excited. I finished my, okay, it's not a big finish or anything. It's a really tiny little piece. But actually, I made a few mistakes in the counting around here and I had to then rip some of it out. So it took me ever so slightly longer than I expected. So, but it was a few evenings. And I'm trying to decide if I should back my little pillow with red, which I don't have a really good red that would match it, green or blue. And everybody in my house is divided. I asked the kids to vote and they didn't pick my choice. So that must tell me which color I've chosen really in my mind. So, and I decided that I really ought to tackle my mending pile because I've been neglecting it of late. So I'm just gonna have a look. This, if I can show you, this laundry basket has basically some mending but also projects that I'm working on. So hold on, let me adjust you a little bit. And then, let me adjust you a little bit and see what's in here. Now this was in my mending pile back in May and I fixed it. This is the liner for the hamper that goes in the hallway. You know, so it's inside out. It's actually really nice. It's a nice design, but you just see the inside outness of it. So I fixed it. It's like really, I don't know, stretchy. And it had all sorts of holes that I'd never really noticed over the years of use. But then when I went to put it back in, I noticed another one. So I'm just going to just run that bit under the sewing machine again. And it's actually quite flimsy. I'm not sure how sturdy it will be. I think I can manage that today. So I'm going to do this. I have cheated because I have already done this during my family Zoom call last night. We have it every Sunday with my family. I have most of my family now is in America, in North Carolina, Texas, California, Vermont, New Jersey. Have I missed anybody? And then South Africa. And then me in England. So as I sat there, I did some mending, just little holes in some shorts, some trousers for Sammy. And this, her dress needed mending, but this is way too small, so that's going to go to some lucky recipient. Sammy had this dress. She had it in 3 sizes. I just kept ordering it again as she outgrew it because I just loved it on her, and just got it from Amazon. Rainbow dress. And I'm not sure if they make her size anymore, but anyway, that's going to the donation pile. And then I had this just a tea towel that needed a bit of a stitching. Okay, so I did that. Those were like really tiny little minor things, but especially with Sammy's clothes, what starts off as a minor hole turns into a giant gap. And okay, these are for the ironing pile. So another thing that we ordered for Sammy, and it was just a bit too big, but because it's shorts, I'm not going to do it today. I have jeans to hem. Not gonna do it. I'm running out of time. I have a black skirt. This is my like Halloween skirt, and it's elasticated, and it's sort of like a nice long witchy skirt. And because it's elasticated, I like bring it up. But actually it really needs hemming. That would be handy. And then I have another skirt that I ordered, and I am like 5'4" 3/4" or something like that. I'm like 5'4", 5'5", and I have I'm long waisted, but I have shorter legs. So I don't know. I normally buy jeans. I get jeans a lot from Land's End, or just from when I feel like I can afford it, I get them from Land's End. And these were in the sale, and I knew they were too long, and they no longer hem them for you. The wonderful thing about Land's End, well, at least, you know, here in the UK, they still did the hemming for you, and I could actually hem it because I need it in between what is a regular and a short. So they could hem it for me exactly, and I don't do it anymore. Anyway, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to hem my jeans. What else is in my basket? Oh, so I think although I'm really tempted to try to do this skirt, we have some other plans for today. Now Monday, I normally just have all Monday. I'm quite flexible, and I try to do as much crafting as I can, and that's really nice. But today we have a special treat. We are planning to go out to, of all places in December, an ice cream shop. So Joshua's birthday was on Friday. He turned 14, and he has older siblings, and they are 19. And they and their mother sent basically a gift voucher to go to this place that does like amazing sundaes and like waffle sundaes and brownie sundaes and any kind of thing that you might want. So we decided we would go today. So we're going this afternoon. So the hemming might have to wait because, you know, ice cream's more important. Right, so the other things that are in here, I cut these patterns out. I have enough masks for now, but I decided to try this style, Gerata Davies. Anyway, so I cut that out months ago and then stuck it in the basket. See, the thing is, you just stick it in the basket and you know where it is and you don't have to worry about it. This has also been in the basket for months. So who has one of these? Anybody still have one of these? So I'm not sure why exactly it got so disintegrated. I wonder actually if I could just peel the blue off and then just use the fabric underneath and just leave it as it is. But I thought I could do something to fix this so that we could still use it, because that's obviously one of the favorite toys in this house. Okay, I'm making a mess. It can all go back in. Right, so this is my tablecloth. I've even used it as a tablecloth without hemming it or anything, because I just had an emergency dinner party where somebody else was supposed to host our Celtic Advent. I've just been in Celtic Advent mood. My Celtic Christian group, we meet every 6 weeks. We usually meet at somebody else's house, and we all bring, well, this was long ago before lockdown, obviously. So we all would bring food and just have a wonderful meal, and then do a prayer service together and have a chat about Celtic Christian things. It's really lovely. And we still meet on Zoom. In fact, we're meeting tonight. So that's nice. It's just, we miss the food, but otherwise we really enjoy that we can still see each other and pray together. Anywho, I got this. This is linen from IKEA, and I bought it for something else altogether, but I thought, well, I just really kind of needed a tablecloth. So I threw it on the table and it worked really well. So what I'd like to do is basically just hem it, and I think I can cut off a section. My table is long and narrow. I think I can cut off a section and make a few napkins. Not sure if I need more napkins, but again, that is this would be a simple job. I mean, after the ironing the whole length of it, it would be a simple job. But going back in the bottom of the basket just for now, because we don't need a tablecloth. We're not entertaining. I think I have a tablecloth I can use on Christmas anyway, that I hemmed last May. Okay. Ooh. I haven't looked at this in a while. show it to you without wrecking anything. You know, it's all mostly put together. So this again is like just needs a few minutes work to hem it up, but I have to match it up. This originally was going to be a scrappy log cabin. I had all these floral squares. When I moved house, I stored the book, which is one of those stack-a-deck books. I'll have to show you another time. I stored the book at my friend's house in their loft because I just was moving, and I moved from a bigger house to a smaller place for a few years and then came to a bigger place. And I decided to just make it kind of simple and just make it striped because I didn't have the instructions and I wanted to get on with it. A year later, I have the book and I have the quilts in stripes, and well, I like it. I like it that way anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so let's pop these things back. These things, I have to get my piles right. I'm going to do something with this today. I'll have a look at this today and we'll see. And oh, another little project. We were given these stars, everybody in the village, and we could keep it, but what we were asked to do was to decorate it any way we wanted to and then put it on the tree in the church. And it's not the church I go to regularly, the Church of England church in my village. I go to a Catholic church in a different village. However, I do love our church. And I love our community here. So I might ask Sammy if she wants to do it, because I suspect she might. And I'll show you in a bit. I'm actually doing some painting projects too. So hopefully after ice cream, we'll come back and I want to do some painting, which I'll show you later. Okay. I'm going to get ironing and sewing, and then I'll see you in a bit. Right, so I've been a little bit busy. I have finished my gold Yule small. I have put a blue, it's actually a print. I got that fabric from Aldi actually. They might still have some on their website for order. And this is a wool heart. I might add to it, but I think for now I'm quite happy for it to be quite simple. So that can go somewhere special. I am toying with hanging it from a door knob, but actually I think this will go into my trencher. My trencher I showed you on the Christmas decorations video, and I got that at a reenactment. It was at Audley End House. There was a Civil War reenactment, and by Civil War, I think it was a Civil War, I meant here, you know, in England. And yeah, I purchased it there many years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago. Anyway, so it's coming in handy for my new collection of smalls. Right, so I did that this morning. What else did I do this morning? I repaired the lining for my hamper. And I also found, so last week I was supposed to show these, and I knew that I was supposed to show some other things, and because I don't write things down, I forgot. So I found this, I had made it in the summer when I was working with a child that was childminding, and we were doing lots of things with felt and things. Now the bird needs an eye, possibly. And And well, I'll just show you the other side. The other side is very similar. Still needs an eye. I'm sure that I had done an eye, but no. Anyway, so last week I was supposed to show these, which I had made for like scissor fobs and that kind of thing. I don't necessarily have a need because I don't go anywhere. So I don't, at the moment, to have scissor fobs. And I find this one, for instance, way too bulky. I just find it annoying to have them on the scissors, these particular scissors. However, we have a lot of different scissors in our house. And we are often like stealing each other's. So I had made this one, I had started to make this one for my son with a dragon on it. And well, I need to do that. I have a soldering iron, but just with like the silver color solder. So anyway, that was just stuff I had lying around the house. We quite often do necklaces for birthday parties, so whatever the theme is. So we had unicorns at some point. I can't remember what the theme was for that party because it wasn't unicorns. Anyway, we do some, we were supposed to do a steampunk party this year. And we've done things with dragons, like we had a Skyrim party. So those are the types of things I happen to have around the house at the moment. Okay. Let's see, another finish. Oh, I painted this. I use these trays. I used to use these trays for like sort of Montessori, just like sorting things and having plain things. So I like the plain wood, and I used to have like numbers or letters or various loose parts in the trays. But I have taken them over, and I decided I wanted to paint them, so I've done one. And I found this, I'm not sure what it was originally, probably for some sort of cosmetic actually. Let's see if I can. Steady, steady. Okay, so this, it screws on, and I think it's plastic, and it just has a bit of sponge so that I can put water just to kind of wet threads and things. I'm forever, you know, licking the end of my thread or licking my fingers to do something. So, which is fine for some work that you're going to wash regularly, but not necessarily for cross stitch. So anyway, so I have that in case I want to travel with it, and I just have an egg cup. In fact, I have a smaller egg cup that I'm going to use instead, and I think I'm going to make this one into a pin cushion with the emery in it. So that will be my emery cushion to sharpen my needles. So that, I had hoped to do that today actually, but we're doing lots of fun other things today, and that's okay. So those are done, and I'm going to show you something I did a while ago. I'm trying to find a new home for this. I really would like a slightly larger bucket because I do squish. I'd like a larger bucket with a lid, and these are water balloons. So you may have seen them. They're all different sizes because I didn't follow any pattern. I just crocheted until I got sort of balloon shapes. I mean, in retrospect, I think I could have made them into white snowballs and then had snowballs in the winter and then water balloons for the summer. But the purpose is, and I think I have about 20. I just had this yarn. It's one of those things that Sammy was in the shop with me a few years ago, and she said, "Oh, can you make me something with this? It's all fuzzy and warm." And it turns out it's perfect for this. So it's like a chenille type of yarn. And if you soak them in the bucket, they're really wet, and then you can throw them, and it's sort of like throwing a wet sponge, I guess. And then you don't end up with all sorts of tiny bits of shredded balloon all over your garden or trampoline or anything. So I'd like a bigger bucket. Sometimes you get candy floss in those bigger buckets, and I would always keep them if I ever got one of those. It's been years since I had one, but over time they fall apart. So if I ever find another one of those, or big like sort of popcorn bucket or something, sometimes in the corner shops, or you can find them. So I'll look for one of those one day. The reason I like a lid is just to contain them so they don't get dusty, because they're only used, you know, a few months of the year. And then you can just fill your bucket like halfway with water and take the whole thing down to the playground or wherever you'd like to take them. So that I came across as I was going through my crafty bits. So, okay. Right, I still haven't done this. I decided, I pulled some of the blue off, but there's this glue. So I decided to cut it and then think about that some more. Okay, so I'm going to show you some haul. There's my star to work on. Set this, I'll just put the information down below where I can, or what I get to. This one has, I don't know if there's rabbits or hares. It's hard to see with the glare. See? And then there are 2 bunnies. Oh, actually, this is a hare. Hare. Ooh. And a bunny. So I got that off of Etsy. It took a while to come, actually. I was surprised. Sometimes things are quicker. And I tried to get things from Etsy that are, if they're objects, not PDFs. I try to get them from the UK, just because otherwise shipping is just crazy, astronomical. I definitely want some bluebird patterns and all sorts of books and things like that I just can't get a hold of, because they say it, you know, cost 20 or 30 pounds to buy the book because it's out of print, and then another 20 pounds to send it. I mean, it's not worth it to me. I got some floss rings, some more floss rings. And I got this, a needle minder. It's too peoply outside, which is just perfect for me as an introvert. No, I don't dislike people. I just sometimes need it quiet. I am very social. And then this one is a Ollivander's One Shop needle minder. I thought I didn't need a needle minder. I have a magnetic chart holder that I've had for years, and it has magnets on it, and I usually store my needle on it. However, I have found that sometimes I'm not using that, or I'm not diligent enough, and I end up with needles down the couch and things like that. And since I have little people and big people that I don't want to have stabbed with needles, I just thought, oh, get some needle minders. And now I'm quite intrigued. I think that I'd like to make some. So that's my haul. It's a very short, small haul, which is good. In fact, I had ordered these a while ago. Like this one I ordered quite a while ago. And then these ones just a bit more recently. So I got those, and then, okay, so the next thing I'd like to do today, I mentioned earlier in the video, is I would like to do some painting. So I'm going to have a switch around, I think. In the winter, I take out my Playmobil. I have lots of sort of Santa Playmobil. This one is a tree, and there's a ballroom scene, and all sorts of really nice things. I think it's like a woodland one, and a ballroom, and a Santa's workshop. And I've added to it every other year or so. I add a bit to it, and it's outgrown its tin. So I'm thinking I'd like to change it to a different box, and I think I'll use this box. Now this box is my candle box. Now it needs 2 things. One is the hinge is a bit iffy, so I need to get that back on. But I think what I'll do is I'll move all the candles and things to this other tin that I found, if I can fit them in. I'm not sure. So I'll try to fit those in there, and then put these in here. Now the candle box, I've painted the outside a long time ago and never got to doing the design I wanted on the top, which suits me now because now I might do a slightly more Christmassy design for the top. I'm not necessarily planning to do that today. We'll see what time I have left. But if I could just figure out the size. So yes, if I can put the candles there, Playmobil there, and have another box. I'm toying with putting this either in this tin, oops, sorry for the noise, either in this tin, which has nice stars on it, because I don't think, not sure that I'll turn that back into a cake tin, although I'm tempted. It's really nice. I'm not sure, I have no idea where I bought this, but it has stars on it. But this is my, let me set you down so you don't get dizzy. This is my wooden nativity set. And it has all sorts of blocks so you can make the houses and or some walls. It's quite a nice set. And it came in this bag, which is nice, but I just thought maybe it'd be handy to have it in, if it fits in the tin, maybe in the bag in the tin, that would be good. Or I'm planning to use that box for something else, but while I have it here, I'd like to sand it and do just the first coat of paint, and then do that another time, just while I have the paint out. So this is a really nice set, and I bring this out at Christmas too, and the toddlers like it, and it has quite a few animals in it. So yeah, that's my plan for, it looks like now after we go for our ice cream treat, I'll be working on this. And if I have time later on, I'm going to work on my Christmas Carol stitch along, book club stitch along. But tonight I have my Celtic Christian group on Zoom, and tomorrow night I have my Bible study group on Zoom, so I might not have time. Usually I'm doing more stitching on Wednesday, Thursday evening, and in the week, on the weekend, sorry. So, good Yule. So that means good Yule, which is basically kind of like Merry Christmas in Swedish, Danish, and I don't know how many other languages as well. I forgot to share one last thing. This is a crochet basket I started a few months ago. It's a hemp yarn from Aldi, and the pattern came on the yarn, and I need to work on it. I decided, since I was finished with my other blankets, I should work on this. It's the time of year where I can't really crochet and knit anymore. My hands just won't work. I've had arthritis since I was 16, and even if it's warm inside, for some reason they just don't work at this time of year. But if I could add, all I need to do is add a few more rows for the handles. Anyway, it's on my radar anyway. We'll see if anything happens to that this week or this month. Okay, I don't have many decorations in the kitchen. I have some candles. This is our advent candles this year. And I just have a garland up there that I tend to put up which I think is cute. Has some bells. It's not a showstopper table, not yet anyway, not with a wrinkled tablecloth. So, oops, sorry, we're going too quickly. I found a new place for my bells this year. This jug came from the farm. And this teapot underneath the sheep, which is great. I didn't make this, but it's a fabulous tea cozy. It's one of those that you put tea in, and I just don't think it matches my decor. It's glass and black, like a Bowden one, and so I like to cover it, but I like to use it to make chai. So this is definitely like a working piece of furniture. There's a lot of stuff up here. So I've just snuck in a few Christmassy bits, like Father Christmas, Saint Nicholas, a few extra candy canes. We seem to have a lot of candy canes this year. They're harder to find here in this country, but anyway, I want to start. I brought my angel out. This was made by Katie at Molten Wonky, actually. I think I can link that as well. She does some really nice things. And she runs workshops now. Which, it was my idea. I sat at a craft show with her and told her, you should really run workshops. She's like, no, and now she does. I'm not sure if they're running currently. Right, the rest of it isn't very Christmassy, although we do have some chocolate coins. This tea set, it's funny. I'm in England and I brought this tea set over from America. It was made in Rochester, New York in, what was the year? Something like 1899 or something like that. And I brought it all the way to England. It was my great grandmother's. And my mother passed it on to me. And it's silver plate. It's nothing all that special. But this tray also came from the farm. Oh, so did this. So did that. I don't know if there's anything else interesting on here. Anyway, these candlesticks did not. I got those from a garden center and they were on sale because some of the little pieces are missing. Oh, another bowl from the farm. Oh, and my angel tray. I made mosaic. I made it work when I used to work as an occupational therapist. And I ran a mosaic group for quite a while. Anyway, that's as far as the Christmas decor goes in here. I don't normally decorate in here very much for Christmas, but this year I think we need a bit of extra something to cheer us up.